Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Famous Rapper Convos, exclusively on Famous Rapper Network. I'm here with a very special guest today, Marv Ellis. Is I pronounced that correctly, right?
Yes, it's like MarvEllis, like.
Oh, MarvEllis.
Yeah.
Like, do I say MarvEllis or do I say MarvEllis?
It's MarvEllis, because like my last
MarvEllis.
name's Ellis, so like I wanted to incorporate like my name in my rap name, so it's like Marv Ellis, like MarvEllis. Yeah.
Nice. Your last name is Ellis.
Yeah.
But your first name is not Marv, is it?
No.
Okay, cool. So you added the Marv, kept the Ellis.
Yeah, because I ended up finding out like one of my aunt's names. Like I had like a great aunt named Marv, and I thought that was like cool. And then just like when I was like working on trying to figure out who I was as an artist, I was like, I could be MarvEllis. Just take that. I don't know.
Nice. I love it. It's a great name. When I first heard it, I was like, that's a marvelous name. Cool. So thank you for joining me today. We've been like connected for a while now. I don't know if you remember, you mixed one of my songs like 2 years ago, maybe, or like a year and a half ago.
$100,000.
Yeah, 100 grand.
Yeah, that was actually one of my first. You were one of my first internet like mixies. Like I had like a couple, but like not nearly as professional as you. Like you were like probably you were somebody that like whenever you sent me that track and like sent me all the deets on like just like the way you like things EQ'd and compressed and everything, I was like blown away. Like yeah, you really opened up a door for professionalism with that. Like for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that was cool. That was a fun project. And then I remember seeing you and another guy like went live on your Instagram, like making music in like a dark room. Is that the same room you're in now? Do you still hang out with that guy?
Yeah, I still hang out with him. That was if I'm correct, that's okay. Well, his name's Brando, but he's gonna change it to okay Brando. But yeah, we were at another place in West Virginia called Buchanan, and we were at his like previous girlfriend's place. Like they had like this back room, and we made it like this like little grungy looking like studio setup. But no, now currently I'm in like one of the cities of West Virginia, which is called Morgantown, and but the lighting's it's gotten a little bit better from then, but it's still a little dark.
Yeah, no, I mean I liked it. It set the mood, you know. It's like a grungy basement vibe.
Yeah.
But, do you have basements in West Virginia?
Yes, we do. We
Nice.
have basements, cellars, bunkers, even vaults too in some places.
Wow. Have you ever gone into like a really creepy cellar?
My mom's house has a pretty creepy like basement / cellar, but like the only reason it was kind of scary was because like whenever I'd go there when I was younger, there was like spiders the size of my hands in it, and like also it was like not built that well, so like I felt like any moment I was down there, I was just as unsafe as if I were to be in the storm itself. So like, I mean, I guess it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So the first question that I always ask artists that come on the show is in about 3 minutes, what I want you to do is go back to like when you first started making music or first got interested in music. Like how did you first get introduced to music? And then in 3 minutes, tell like the full story of how you got to where you are today, like touching on different milestones. However you want to tell that story, like in 3 minutes, like what's your full artist story?
Okay. So back to like whenever I first started, I was like when I first started dabbling with music, I was probably like 17ish, and some of like the ways I got into it was I was always involved as a kid, like early on as a baby. I remember my dad would play like classical music for me as a baby and like different things like that. And then I took piano lessons at 9. So I've always kind of been involved with it. But around 17ish, I noticed like some of the catalog I used to listen to, like Korn, Metallica, Eminem. It was just like some of the older type stuff, like with rock and metal and then rap too. And I just thought, well, maybe I could do this. So like, you know, my first inspiration was Eminem. So I was like trying to make my life seem harder than what it was and like rap about things and pretty much just like make things seem more difficult than what they were. But after a while of doing that and realizing that it was a little corny on my end because it just wasn't me, I started to look out for more artists and different types of music and different types of rap to just try to like diverse myself a little bit more. And the past like 2 years is when I've been really kind of focusing on like blending my craft. I started in or perfecting my craft. I started in like, it was like Jane Lou, West Virginia. It was like a population of like 500 or 500 or 700 people. So like not a whole lot. And just within the few years, I've just been like grinding on saving money, getting more professional with like the way I present myself as an artist and the things I do. And I just now this past year moved to the city of it's like one of West Virginia's cities other than Charleston. And my whole point here is just to try to like continue being professional, help other people get like their music mixed and mastered for like a very cheap price, and just see where I can go with it.
Cool. That's awesome. So how old are you now?
Right now I'm 22.
22. So it's been about 5 years since you recorded your first song?
Yeah, it's been 5 years exactly, actually. I think I saw about 5 years almost. I think the first time I recorded a track was in like December of 2015 or 16, something like that.
Oh, nice. Happy anniversary.
Thanks, man.
Do you remember the first song that you ever recorded?
Yes, I do. I'm not going to encourage people to look it up because it's awful, but it's called Expectations. And it's back whenever I first started, I used to have a $ as the S, and like a little hyphen or a space. But yeah, that was the first song I ever recorded. And I put it on YouTube. I used my friend's iPod. He had like his iPod and he set it up to like a stereo. And I made this beat on like a knockoff Great Value version of an iPad and just like put it on a loop. And then I rapped into the iPad or the iPod while the music played off that stereo. And it's just, it's rough.
Nice. That's awesome. So it was like a one live take?
Yeah, actually. And then later after that, I was like, we need to get more professional with it. So I got a DJ Hero mic, and I took like this old cane and I put it inside of a lampshade and stuffed it with a bunch of like shirts and towels so it would hold up. And then I used electrical tape and I taped that mic, and then I recorded my second and third YouTube posting on that.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's solid. Expectations. Did it have a hook?
Yeah, it was like, well, no, actually, it was just kind of a full, like, it was just kind of like I just put this song on and just started spitting, and then whenever I was done, it was just kind of like a one take verse in a way. That was how my first like 2 or 3 songs were.
Nice. And so the song was called Expectations. Was it like about expectations about your music career?
It was to be honest with you, yes, a little bit. It was like just like I feel like I was expected to be like to do something different in life rather than just like working regular jobs or going to school. But I think in all honesty, I think I just like knew I could rhyme the word expectations with a lot of things. And I thought maybe if my first song had a bunch of just like different rhymes in it, it would impress people. So that's what I actually did pretty much.
Nice. Yeah, expectations, that's a good rhyming word. I have a song called Small Circle. And so how I recorded that song was I had the word expectations. I had a list of words that rhyme with that word, actually. And then I just like freestyled like each individual line going through all of the rhymes. So
that's dope.
So expectations, it's a good rhyme. Cool. So yeah, that's great. If you were to think ahead like 12 months from now, what are your goals for the next 12 months, and like what milestones do you see yourself hitting within the next 12 months in terms of like music or just like your life in general? Like what you got going on coming up?
That's a good question. Yeah, like the next 12 months from now, I'm definitely, first and foremost, music aside, I got to get a savings account. I need a savings account. I need to start like actually holding on to some money. But music wise, within the next 12 months, I originally moved here last year because I was going to do shows up here, because in West Virginia, it's very hard to get like support based shows like for rap artists. Like there's folk and country a lot, but and not hating on that or anything, but it's just for like the rap scene itself, it's very hard. But the city up here supports it a lot. But as soon as I moved up here and like got like a couple of things lined up, COVID hit, and then it just kind of like messed that whole thing up. So within the 12 months from now, I would definitely like to have some shows under my belt. Maybe like a full-time photographer with me, and I could, help, pay to help him like advance his career, just to like kind of make me look more professional and also help him out. And then also like I just want to help people. I just want to make it known that if you have a dream in this like kind of small state to do something, that it's possible, and that I can be someone to help out in any way, like mixing, promo, anything.
Cool. So you're looking to get a savings account, meet
Yeah.
a photographer so you can get more content, more
Right.
pictures of you and your art, and then you want to help other people.
That,
And so you're kind of trying to build like a community around the music in your area, and
absolutely.
like so everyone can grow together.
Absolutely. I'm trying to like just like maybe not even so much like to like build a community, but I just want the community to uh, it's kind of hard to explain or like to work around it, but pretty much I just want like people to step out of their shells if they want, you know, like I don't want people to feel like they're stuck in like either job, school, or the military. Like I want like there to be more options and stuff. And I think if like it can be presented in like a really clean cut way, and just I don't know, I just have like a dream with it. I think I can just get the community more involved with it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Cool. So speaking of community, you released an EP recently, a collaboration EP
Yeah.
called Trapolation.
Yeah,
And
Trapalachian.
Trapolation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some people say or pronounce it Appalachian or Appalachian Mountains, and around here it's like Appalachian. So
Oh, it rhymes better. Trapolation.
yeah. I
Sounds like what's crack-a-lackin'?
what's
I don't know.
crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack-a-lackin' in the Trapalachians?
Yeah, with that EP I got together a couple friends and stuff that we've dabbled with music before, and I just kind of since I moved up here, I'd met like a couple new people and stuff, and I just wanted to just overall get them on a collective tape, just a really short EP of just like little bops to just kind of showcase their music too, because like maybe they don't get enough love or they don't feel like they do, and I just wanted all of them to feel like it was like a collective project. And just I don't know, it also offers self promo too, because like each track, like each person is going to like want to bump theirs or show their own track and stuff, so it'll just help spread overall. And I just thought it would have been like a fun little thing to do and dabble with, and I definitely plan on doing another one in the future, but it probably won't be for like another year or two.
I feel you. Okay, let's get into details. So how many artists are on this EP?
Let's see, I think there's five. There's four. Yeah, there's four.
Four people, and including you?
Yeah. Wait, let me count them actually. D White, Lover Lotus, Valentine's, Brand. Yeah, four. I just wanted to double check.
Okay, and then who made the beats?
The instrumentals were deprived by a lot of, it was mostly YouTube like beats that I found.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of added like some extra spice to them, like on Logic, like with some like certain aspects, like there's like this like little MIDI violin ballad that's at the end of track 3. I played that. Then there's some piano I added in on track 4, just like some things like that, but mostly YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you play piano. Do you have like formal music training?
I have like basic piano like understanding. I can't really read music all too well, but like if I listen to something like over and over, I can play by ear pretty well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then how many songs in the EP?
There's a total of 6.
6 songs with 4 rappers, including you.
Yeah.
So what was like the process of bringing people together? Are these people, did you like have a studio and they all came in person and recorded these songs, or was it remote?
Every single person did come through and record their part except one, and that was because he was located on another side of West Virginia. And just with like the way things have been here recently, it's just kind of hard to meet up for that. But yeah, everybody was recorded here other than D White. And with all the vocals, I also mixed and mastered all the vocals too, like for every artist except Brando's. He self mixed his at first, and then I just kind of tried to polish a couple things on it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
So have you ever considered yourself an executive producer?
I don't know. It sounds like a big title. I don't know if I could see myself as an executive producer. I'm not too sure yet. I'm always like kind of like hard on myself when it comes to my work. I always feel like things could be improved and better and stuff. So I actually don't know where I'm at right now. I'm just a guy that's hitting some buttons, making some moves.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what I would call an executive producer is essentially what you've done here is you source the beats yourself, right? And then you found these rappers, and then you got them to record, and then you did the mixing and mastering, and then you like put together the whole project, bringing together different elements from other people.
Yeah, that's a dope way of looking at it. Now that you said that out loud, the first thing that popped in my mind was like DJ Khaled or something.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
actually
DJ
that's
Khaled,
really
yeah.
cool.
So you're like
Okay,
DJ
then.
Khaled, plus, but you're also a rapper.
Yeah, I guess so, man. I never thought of it like that.
Cool. So next question, moving on. Um, how do you know how to freestyle rap? Do you freestyle in your songs, or how has freestyle rapping like touched your life?
That Well, that's actually where I started. I used to be terrible at writing songs, but I could freestyle and keep people entertained. The past couple like months or few months, I've had like this little block where I don't feel like I've been able to freestyle as efficient, but I still do it like time to time again, like just practice. And, because whenever I do have interviews where like for this, for example, like I want to be able to actually freestyle something raw and real. And if I mess up, like it's just showing I'm human. I'd rather come in with a couple messed up, like I mess up or go off beat and then come back on it, then come in with a written,
Mm-hmm.
I think freestyling is very important to rap music as a whole. I just think it just shows like a level of talent, uh, just like practice and respect overall too.
Hmm. Talent, practice, and respect.
Yeah.
That's good. How did you first learn how to freestyle?
I was 13 whenever I started like freestyling, and I put on like I was looking. I don't know how the beat popped up, but I looked up like a Martin Luther King type beat, and
Sorry,
yeah,
that's hilarious. Okay.
I don't know how it popped up, but how I started was I just like started thinking of words that rhymed, just uh I used to like the Celtics, so Rondo was the first line I thought of, and it was like Rondo combo pronto. I was like just thinking of things, but what I did to like niche it together until I got good at freestyling was I would use the word or the term everybody knows. So for example, I'd be like walking down the street and everybody knows shoes up on my feet. Everybody knows you cannot compete. Like I would just, do that until I got decent with it.
Nice. That's a fun little game. Everybody knows blank. Did you
Yeah.
did you just come up with that, or did you learn from somebody?
I think I just came up with that. I think it just like it just kind of shot off my head, and then I just kept rolling with it. And it actually became an annoying habit for a while. I had to break.
Yeah, totally. It's like a crutch.
Yeah.
Cool. So you kind of already said this, but a question I have is, like going forward in your music career, like I'm wondering, like what area do you feel like you're struggling with most? And what person, like you already said photographer, so maybe besides photographer, like what kind of person do you feel like you're missing? Like that if you could connect with, it would help you grow a lot faster.
That's a good question. Probably if there's any spot that I might feel like it's like maybe like a weaker point of me or something that I like could really help me out would probably just be overall. I want to say like posting more, like myself, like I don't know, like maybe like a marketer or something, maybe somebody that could like give me some tips on just marketing overall and reaching audience on a more connected level, which is something I've been trying to do. Either something along those lines or just since everything in my local area to build local support, it's a lot of like shows and stuff really help. So probably
Hmm.
like shows too, like just getting shows.
Yeah. What city are you in again?
Morgantown, West Virginia.
Morgantown, West Virginia. And so you're looking for a photographer in Morgantown, West Virginia?
Right. I've been talking to this one guy that I just recently, the last interview I had, and he really liked my music and stuff and offered me just a couple of services and stuff. So I'm definitely looking to get on board with that. But in case things fall through, I always want to have like, like a backup plan. So yeah, I'm still looking for one around in the local area, like a really good one. And also one where it can be more than just business. It can be like a friendship too.
Hmm. Cool. That's awesome. And could you tell me like a funny story that happened to you recently?
Funny story. I can't think off top. No. Um, we'll go back to that because something might pop in, but I can't think
Okay.
off top.
Okay, cool. So it's been about 20 minutes. We're going to be going for like 10 more minutes. Is there anything we haven't talked about yet that you want to talk about?
Um, Trying to think off top. I mean, I have an interesting story with my first album with Thinking Too Much. The song Life Now, which is track 3 on there. Since I like have my own home studio and everything and I record myself, I usually would take it around a lot, like the mic stand and everything. And I ended up leaving the mic stand in the trunk of a friend's car. And so whenever I went to record that track, I had to like go into my mom's room because she had this like really high dresser because I was still at my mom's at this point. And I put like the mic shield on there and I set at like this like 1970s looking like vanity and just like rapped Life Now. And I'm like living this life like I got it, just like spitting these trap lyrics. And I don't know, it's just kind of funny.
Nice. In your career or in your life, have you ever had any like mentors or coaches that have like made a big impact on you?
To be honest with you, I've done everything. Like, I mean, this isn't to like brag or anything. I've done everything myself since like day one when it came to like, except instrumentals and stuff. I get those from other people, but um, no, I've just kind of self-taught myself, and I think that's another reason why it's like kind of taken so long for me to have gotten to somewhat of a level of professionalism. Like I, mix and master all my things, and I also make all my cover arts and stuff too. So I haven't really had like a mentor or anybody kind of like come in and try to help me. I've had like some suggestive tips and things that have inspired me, but not nobody personally that I can think of.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Do you have any questions for me?
I have a question about your like I just kind of wanted to ask how excited you are for the release of your project because
Oh, very excited.
you seem pretty hyped. Like I'm seeing stuff every day about it, and I'm really stoked to hear it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've been working on this for like a year. Well, basically, like right when COVID started, like in February, I left my job at Facebook, and since then I've been like working on this project basically. And the what I did was like make as many songs as possible, and then put together this project as like telling a story of like basically telling the story of like my life and my love life over the last 8 months or so. I mean, and longer. But yeah, I'm really excited to put this out there, and I'm doing like trying to reach as many people as possible, which isn't something that I always do. So this project is like my album, and I'm like trying to make it like a big one.
Definitely. I mean, I'll send it to some people up here in the city too. Like I also there was something else I was going to ask you too. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. What kind of inspired you to do like these like talks with other artists and stuff? I think it's really cool and like really nice, and it helps like expand so audiences. And I just think it's a great thing. Like, what inspired you to do it?
Yeah, good question. I think before I did any of them, so like with COVID happening and then no one could meet in person, and I had some friends that do improv. Like I do improv, and I have friends in the improv community, and then some of them like lead online. Like I went to some online networking events, I guess, or like improv for connection, I guess. And I thought that was really nice to like be able to like connect with people over video. And so I thought that that was something that I wanted to like bring to more people. So I basically like wanted to meet with like as many rappers as possible. I consider it like the word I use is hyper networking, where like I meet with you and we have this conversation, but then there's like the video. So then other people can then meet you as well without you having to actually talk to them. So that's like the reason that I do it is, and that's why I kind of have you like tell your artist story so that people come here on this video and then they can like get to know you. And it saves everybody time, I guess, because you can meet more people in this way. At least that's my theory. I don't know. Like
I mean, that's
not that
really
many
good.
people watch it yet, but I think in the long term, it could work out.
No, man, I see like some of the posts and stuff you do, and I feel like you were meant to be an entertainer just in general. So I feel like you're definitely going to reach some audiences.
Sweet, thanks. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to create as much as possible, and then like Um, basically, like I think of it like these interviews are kind of like fuel, like lots and lots of like logs, basically. And then I'm hoping that my album is going to be like the spark that like gets people interested, and then they can go and watch like all this stuff that I created.
Yeah,
And
man.
that's my hope.
That's
And
dope.
yeah, I love entertaining too. It's fun. Have you always wanted to be an entertainer? You're also an entertainer, a musician.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I've always liked to make people laugh and stuff in general, and just like, just feel better. And that was actually one way I made friends early on too. Was just I was always awkward, so I just made them laugh, or I'd be getting in trouble in school and make them laugh. But just being an entertainer does sound kind of fun. I could see it being exhausting after a while, so I'm gonna try to find a good balance early on between it. You know.
Hmm. Oh, okay. I have a question. Do you have a job?
Yeah, right now I work at a cafe that's like down my road. It's like
Okay,
not even that far at all. It's like a 7-minute drive, something like that.
nice. And how much time do you spend making music?
Pretty much whenever I can. I mean, if I'm not writing, seeking out instrumentals or dabbling with some myself, then I'm mixing somebody else's work, or uh, yeah, mixing or mastering someone else's work, or helping. Because I've also helped co-write some songs too, like a couple things. So yeah, I'm always working. Like I work at my job in the mornings, like 8 to 3, and then I get home, and then from like 3:30 to like 9, I have like my doors open for mixing, mastering, or working on my own stuff. So pretty much constantly.
Cool. Have you done mixing or mastering for any people that I would know, or is it
Um,
mostly like small artists from
it,
random
it's
places?
it's it's mostly like small artists from random places usually. Um, but like the people that's on my project on my EP, the Lover Loveless guy, I mix and master all of his vocals. Every song that he has out right now, I mixed and mastered for him, except like he has like some earlier works. Foul Intentions, I mixed and mastered like maybe 3 or 4 songs for him, and I got 2 more that he's about to release soon. But yeah, just a few of the people I work with, and then a few like random internet ones.
Cool. Have you heard of my show Freestyle Roulette Live?
I think I have, but I'm not in tune with the deets.
Okay. So how this works is every Thursday night, not this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, but every Thursday night on Discord. Have you ever used Discord?
I think once. Yeah, I think
Okay.
once.
Well, Discord is cool because you can have a voice chat, a voice channel, and then on Thursdays, I bring together like a group of rappers, and then I basically like it's like a freestyle rap cipher online on Discord. And since you like freestyle, I think you might be interested in doing it. It's pretty fun. Basically, I do um, like we cipher freestyle like back and forth, but then I also like give people words or like different like setups. Like I'll be
Ooh,
like, oh, like you're in a field of flowers and the sun is beaming on your face and you see an alligator, and then okay, now freestyle, and then so then you like try to like freestyle incorporate those ideas,
yeah, that
stuff
sounds
like
fun.
that.
That's like you just mix like what you said, like improv, like early on with freestyling, because freestyling is improv essentially, but like that's like putting an environment and everything. That's really cool.
Yeah. I used to, before COVID happened, I was on a rap improv team called Deadbeat Poet Society in San Francisco. So that's basically how I like first started like doing these things. But then I brought it online to Discord. So it's like very like improv inspired, like you said.
Dope. Well, I guess since you're not doing it this next, you said it's every Thursday.
Hmm.
Maybe like the first Thursday of December or something. Maybe I could get on with that. Do you have like a specific time that you do it?
Yeah. I guess it's kind of late for you. I do 7 Pacific time,
Okay, so
which
it'd
would
be
be
like
10.
10.
Hmm. And then
I
it
could still
goes
try to do
for
that.
like 2 hours usually.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, maybe I would do one like a little bit earlier for people on the East Coast. I don't know if it makes it easier, but also I find people on the East Coast stay up later.
Yeah, I'm usually up pretty late. I was up last night till 5:30 in the morning.
Holy cow, doing what?
Uh, Finishing an intro to my new project.
Oh, what's
Yeah,
this project?
I'm not going to go into any details yet because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But I have the picture there. I just don't have the pencil. You know, I mean, I have the paper there. I just don't have the pencil yet. So I'm still trying to sketch out the idea.
Hmm. Okay. And this is going to be an album, or you don't know yet?
Yeah, it's going to be an album. It's going to be similar to like Thinking Too Much. It's going to have a conceptual theme, and I'm going to make this one very hard hitting. I think this project's really going to make some noise. Like and it's not even like fully fleshed. I just have that in my head, manifesting.
Cool. Do you make only projects? Like, do you ever make just songs, just like off the cuff, like record a song, or you always like have like this is an album, this is an
Um,
EP?
I do make some. Like I have like a lot in like my vault of like just like singles and ideas and things. But I just enjoy making albums more. But that is a good question because I'm looking in the next couple months to release some singles here and there because I went back through my catalog and realized like, man, Marv does not release any singles. He just releases these projects. So yeah, that's something I need to like start doing more though.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And I had a good question. I was gonna say, shit, projects, singles, releasing them. You're working on one. Damn, I totally lost what I was gonna say. You are awesome. Great job. Is there any?
Thanks, man.
Oh, yes. I thought of what I was gonna say. So I really like listening to albums. Do you like listening to albums?
Yes, I like to listen to like just from front to back. Like it's just very enjoyable. Like I think the last one I enjoyed recently was 21 Savages. And I'm usually not the biggest fan, but I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, I do like that just front to back.
Yeah, that's how I listen to music. Like probably 80% of the time is just like picking an album and like listening to the whole thing.
Yeah,
So like I also like making albums, and like you do too. So that seems correlated. Maybe like we both like listening to full albums, so then we like creating them.
yeah, and like even before like Apple Music was the thing with streaming, and you had to like get the iTunes cards. I used to because there was like many ways you could like get music for free, but I always like even early on was still like I would just buy a whole project. Like I bought like there was a Riff Raff song I liked a while back, and like even though I liked just that one song, I just went ahead and bought the whole album like anyway and listened to it. Like I've just always been about that.
Nice. Was that his good album?
It was the Pink Panther one, I think, or something
Oh,
like
the
that.
Pink Panther. He has so
Yeah.
many. He
Yeah,
has
no.
lots.
The
Yeah.
names are wild.
Yeah, true. Okay. And so I like I try to listen to all of the best albums of all time. Like what are maybe two or three of your favorite albums of all time?
Two or three. Let's see here. I really like man, it's like okay, one of them would be this might be a little shocking, but Nirvana's Nevermind. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy that album as a whole. I think like the music blends really well with like the cool color art or cover art on the like the cool colors on the cover art. Um, I really enjoyed that a lot because I used to listen to it as a child and still to this day. But and then another one recently, I'm trying to think here. I really enjoy Mac Miller's Watching Movies with the Sound Off too, like still to this day, because I just find like it very abstract in ways, but also kind of like boppy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's a great one. So Nirvana, Nevermind, is that what it's called?
yeah,
Okay. And watching movies with the sound off. Nice. I don't know if I've listened to that Nirvana one, so I will give that a listen. And
yeah,
great. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today.
yeah,
Um,
man. Thanks for having me.
I'll give you, like 2 minutes. I don't know if you want to say anything at the end. You have thinking too much and Trapalachian music out. Where can people find you?
They can find it on everything. We got Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, you name it.
Nice.
I think
And
I'm on Tidal too.
do you have like a preferred social media account? Like do you welcome people like reaching out to you in your DMs or stuff like that? Oh, did you hear me?
Oh, you're cutting out. Yeah. Preferred social media.
Yeah.
My preferred social media is probably Instagram, and it's at Marv Ellis, and it's abbreviated like Marv OHLIS because of I wanted people to know how to pronounce my name, like Marv Ellis. Yeah, Marv
Mm,
Ellis. Yeah, but
marvelous. Cool.
yeah, that's my preferred, and maybe just something to say here at the end is like you know, like even if you get made fun of early on for trying something new or different or just trying to express yourself in one way or another, like don't let it affect you. Like just like actually let it like hit you just to get like the emotions in, but don't let it like ruin you. Like always like dream big, always do what you can, and never be afraid to show people who you are.
Cool. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
This has been MarvEllis. I'm David Prorock. This is famous rapper Convos, famousrappernetwork.com. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, take care.
You too.
Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's focus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. I wanna lay down a never-ending road. We never